What's up guys, I'm Kofi from Unleash the Ghouls, and well, I reckon this was a surprise. The final episode of Black Mirror Season 6, Demon 79. I'll be giving my honest thoughts and opinions on the episode over the next few minutes, so be careful. There will most definitely be plenty of spoilers ahead. And if you're not a fan of spoilers, make sure to follow our side project, The Horror Exchange, where we'll literally be telling you nothing about it for a little while. Hope you do like surprises, the link's down below. This episode was a bit of a change from the usual expectations I had with Charlie Brooker. Black Mirror has commonly been about the disastrous effects of our ever-growing need for technology, but this episode focused elsewhere. It was labelled a Red Mirror production, which obviously denotes something similar yet separate from Black Mirror. I'm extremely hopeful that we see more of the Red Mirror label, as it is intriguing to say the least. The final episode is set in 1970s England. I'm guessing that it's somewhere in the Midlands, just from the accents. The Tories and National Front are heavily active, racism seems rife, and generally, things are looking tough for non-Caucasians. Our main character, an Indian woman called Nida Hook, great gag name by the way, is a worker in a shoe shop, constantly shunned by her co-workers, bosses and customers. She's self-secluded, has zero confidence, and generally doesn't think much about herself. Her co-worker Vicky is a strong muppet who forces Nida off her break early so she doesn't have to deal with an awkward customer, who is Keith Holligan, a man who we find out has killed his own wife. He's a little bit of a creep, as we find out, and he takes a liking to Nida, who gets really irritated and ends up throttling him in her imagination, of which she does quite a bit. She fantasizes about violence, but in the end, does nothing. Her boss comes at her and tells her that her food stinks, so she's got to go and eat it in the basement, which does remind me of one time I used to work in an office and I got a similar treatment for eating goat curry in the building. I didn't get sent to the basement, luckily, like Nida. This is where she finds a talisman with a little recognizable symbol on. She accidentally cuts herself and gets her blood on it, releasing a comically British demon.
Hi. So my name's Garp, I'm a demon. You anointed this talisman with your blood, so now we're bound together, eh?
Eventually, when Nida grants him permission to exit the talisman, he comes out in his true form. It scares the out of Nida, until he turns into the dancing guy from Boney M, played by Papa Esiadu. Big up to Ghanaian actors, by the way. Demon 79, named Gap, explains why he's here. Nida spilt blood on the talisman and woke him, meaning that she has to sacrifice 3 people in 3 days or the apocalypse will happen. It's actually quite serious but really comical. The timing's hilarious, and on the first day he eventually gets her to kill a dog walker by showing her that he is in fact an incestuous nonce, so bang, brick to the head and he's done. She's absolutely gutted, and here we do start to see the fall into darkness that Nida experiences, fantastically acted by Anyana Vasan. She's distraught, hiding away, and we have this irritating demon just chatting away at her in the background. I can't get enough of how English words and English themes are used in this episode, like this phrasing.
Someone's clobbered him, sir.
So they have.
This expectantly disgusting British setting that anyone outside the UK thinks that pubs are. This comment from Comb Over Keith.
You just follow me from Bob.
This comment from Garb.
Looks like he wipes his arse with his house.
This music and this absolutely horrendous English dancing. Honestly, it's just Britain personified. There's even a brilliant fight scene with Keith's neighbour who chucks a bag of crisps at Nida. She's trying hard to do the right thing, but turns out that she didn't need to kill 2 out of the 3 people that she did kill, and she goes from the reserved shop worker who does anything to please everyone to this distraught killer, and the situation pushes her even further into darkness. She finally stands up to Vicky, walks out of work on time, steals the jacket that everybody says won't suit her, and then chooses her final sacrifice. Michael Smart. What a choice. He's basically Nigel Farage too, an absolute racist. Garp doesn't want her to get him though, because he'll eventually go on to cause pain and suffering which the demons enjoy. So he shows the Nida that he will become the next Prime Minister, inciting violence, racism, and needless hate. So instead of listening to Garp, she grows confidence, chases Michael down, and tries to run him off the road. But when she fails and the police track her down, she gets arrested before she can finish the job. She tells the police absolutely everything. Like everything. Who obviously think she's mental. But just as the clock strikes 12, nothing happens. For a few moments. And then a bomb is seen flying over the horizon and everyone accepts their fate. Garp and Nida come to the conclusion that they've failed. So Garp's punishment for failing is to live in eternal nothingness with the absence of matter, space, and time. I only tell you this because he figures out that there's a gap in the small print of his demonic contract that he can bring a human companion with him. So he asks Nida to join him, and she says, okay. Eternal nothingness. Eternal nothingness. But honestly though, I respect this episode so much. It might be my background, it might be my upbringing and understanding of the issues that we were presented in this one, but it actually was hard-hitting. And I'm astonished by the ability of Charlie Brooker to pair side-by-side comedy and meaningful thought-provoking madness. Comparing the episode to today's world, Charlie gives us the stepping stones to really think about actions and consequences, mental trauma, racism, division, and all the while blending in a supernatural aspect. I really enjoyed where the episode took me. I could feel the pressure on Nida all episode to be an outstanding citizen while being surrounded by animosity, and the slow transition into eventually not giving a hoot, yet having more pressure to commit to sacrificing people and eventually accepting one fate and being happy. Her anger at her surroundings providing the fuel that was necessary to summon Garp, and her mental state also being questioned. Do you think Garp was real, or a manifestation of Nina's frustration and confusion? Like, speaking of that, we do see rising political tension, talks of war on the TV and threats of nuclear attacks. Was he real? Was she crazy? Is the episode comparable to the world of today? And do you think Charlie Brooker might be referencing the direction that our world may possibly end? Or do you maybe see this episode as a representation of the demon inside us that may one day make its way out? What do you think? Really appreciate everybody watching and listening. Make sure you don't forget to subscribe to Horror Exchange. I've been Kofi. Catch you next time.